Nantucket. I'm Natalie Simonero, your host for the wellness portion of Nantucket Pulse programming, made possible by Nantucket Cottage Hospital Community Health Initiative. Nantucket Pulse program includes two important features that will air weekly. We will continue to cover the coronavirus impact to our island with Roberto Santamaria, the town of Nantucket's Director of Health. Staying informed with local facts is crucial, and we assure you that we will do our very best to provide you with the facts as they unfold. I am thrilled and honored to be a part of an endeavor to highlight some other essential components of our new way of living, taking care of ourselves and each other, and connecting to those who can help us. The wellness portion of Nantucket Pulse will present some of the island's most respected and gifted health professionals, ranging from traditionally based to holistic health care. We've got you covered. Nantucket, are you feeling a bit stressed out lately? Well, you are not alone. And this episode covers how we deal with stress. I don't know about all of you, but my household is experiencing a new level of stress. And to be honest with you, there are times that I do remain calm so that I can offer support for my family and friends. But when I least expect it, my core shakes. It can be very unsettling, to say the least. And it's okay to admit that. At this stage, I personally have to limit my intake of media on a national level so that I can keep fear to a minimum and maintain a steady hand. I am so very pleased to be involved with this program, connecting our island healers to our community. Nantucket, we are all in this together, and with patience, flexibility, compassion, a sense of humor, and a sense of our shared humanity, we can make it through the ever-changing tides. To help us better understand anxiety in ourselves and others, and how to manage the potential roller coaster of anxiety attacks, here is Tess D'Alberti, the Executive Director of Fairwinds, Nantucket's Counseling Center.
Hi, this is Tess D'Alberti from Fairwinds, Nantucket's Counseling Center. So nice to see all of you again, and thank you for tuning in to Channel 18's The Pulse. Again, I'm from Fairwinds, and I'm here to talk to you about something we all commonly are feeling today in these unknown times with COVID and staying home is related to anxiety. So bear with me while I show my screen and show some things that I wanted to share with you today. So let's start with what is anxiety. Anxiety is a very normal response to things that feel overwhelmingly scary to us. And it's been something from the dawn of time that has kept us alive and moving and away from bad situations. The thing about anxiety is not only is it felt in your emotions and your brain, but it has a lot of physical symptoms. So if I just look at this and I say, what is anxiety in body and in a personality, we're thinking it can impact memory. It can definitely be related to overthinking or avoiding wanting to talk about things. It has all of these physical symptoms, headaches, stomach issues, sweating, and also having some other situations of needing a lot of reassurance, feeling frustrated, and trouble concentrating. Today, we're zooming in to talk about why the brain responds the way that it does, as well as a role play with a dear friend of mine, Robin from Fairwinds, about how to actually manage it. So what do we actually know about anxiety? Maybe a lot, maybe not so much. So our brain, if I wanted to compare it to Dr. Seigel's hand model, if you think of it as a closed fist, and this is your brain stem, your inner brain, your oldest brain, is your thumb. This is the amygdala, as you can see at the bottom. It's responsible for our fight or flight response. On top of that, your fingers that fold over are your prefrontal cortex. This is how the brain evolves, and over time makes us able to make clear, concise decisions. So if you look at the slide behind you, you can see that the top of the hand, the prefrontal cortex, is learning how to respond to anxiety and fear through problem solving, reality testing, thinking things through, and taking a pause. In the under part, your hindbrain, the amygdala, is part of that I'm going to stay away from a fire, I see a bear, that fight, flight, or freeze response. What we want to know about anxiety is that it goes back and forth switching between two systems of the way your body regulates itself. I'm going to continue to use this hand model to remind ourselves. Our sympathetic nervous system that's responsible for our hind brain is gearing up your body for that much needed adrenaline to fight, fly, or freeze. And what that does in your body is it's kickstarting a lot of different things. It's dilating your pupils. It's increasing your heart rate. It's increasing your breathing. You notice that you have a tremendous amount of blood flushing. You can even see it in red ears and red throat and neck, rushing to your body because your body is being told by its brain that it's about to respond to something terrifying, a huge bear that just came into your campsite. When you do that, your body's going to put forth a tremendous amount of energy, and that is going to be largely influenced by insulin and glucose, tons and tons of blood sugar to help you fight this. What we know is that parasympathetic response, that is that prefrontal cortex, when you realize that bear was actually a cutout bear, it's not a real living, breathing bear, it slows your heart down, it helps you think it through, your breathing goes back to normal, your eyes reacclimate, and everything slows down. After these fight or flight responses, you are exhausted. You are physically overwhelmed. It is really a tiring situation. And I think that's something many people forget to respond to. So I'm going to go back to reminding us that the prefrontal cortex is something we all develop as brain development that slows down and gets thinking. But if I push my thumb as hard as I can, it's going to pop the top of my prefrontal cortex thinking off and exposing that fight or flight response. When we can't slow down that fight or flight response, we have what can look like a panic disorder, which often comes completely out of the blue. We don't know where this intense anxiety comes from, versus a generalized anxiety, which is every day I'm feeling anxious and overwhelmed. I think it's really important to know that the difference of the two of those. A panic attack is characterized by extremely intense panic out of the blue in situations that were not anxiety producing, with all of these physical symptoms we just talked about. In addition, there is a really cognitive belief, I am going to die. I am having a heart attack. Because remember, our heart is beating really fast. We can't catch our breath. We are terrified. You can go through this sheet behind me. Sweating, apprehension, heart palpitations, tingling. You're activating, again, prefrontal cortex gone, hindbrain is responding, that amygdala fight or flight response. How panic is different than generalized anxiety, which is something more and more of us are feeling daily, again, is going back to that belief that we're just overwhelmed. We have thoughts that we can't stop thinking about, and we're really, really overwhelmed about it. One thing that we can do here at Fairwinds, Nantucket's Counseling Center, is we can offer you virtual appointments and practice skills as well as psychotherapy to help address core beliefs you have, but as well short-term management of anxiety. I'm going to ask my dear friend Robin to zoom in, and this is how a virtual clinical session would go. Hi there, Robin. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad to see you. So Robin and I work together. Robin is not a client, but she's very generously giving some time to help support me in demonstrating a skill. I just want to remind you that this is a virtual hangout, the same way we would have an outpatient session where we would send you a link and I'd be able to see Robin together. Robin and I are going to practice a few things, and I'm going to have a slide up here just behind that to get me going. But Robin, first off, how are you feeling today?
I think today, well, a little nervous being on camera, I think I'm kind of at a 7 in terms of 10 being the highest anxiety. Combination of work, how much I have to do to help everybody else to get our word out there and everything we're working on. Even though, as I said earlier, to everybody, I'm so thrilled to have a job, and I'm thrilled to have a job where I could help people, knowing I want to get it right, knowing I have people who are counting on me. The stress, even as I say it, like builds up in me.
Yeah. And I see your shoulders going up.
Yeah.
And I see that happening. Right.
Yeah. And that I have a place I live, so I'm happy about that. I feel safe, but I have to move soon, and how I'm going to have that happen when everything's locked down. I think about that, and it just, everything starts building again. So even though there's positives going on, the negatives seem to come to the front of my brain, and I can't keep them in the back and just keep the positive, happy stuff in the foreground. I have trouble with that.
And Robin, I think what you're saying is really human. And I think it's what all of us in some capacity are feeling. This is a really unusual time for us where we're at stay-at-home orders. Some of us are working remotely or trying to. Some of us have some jobs that are furloughed or on pause. And it's hard not to constantly have an anxiety that is really human of us. So thanks for sharing that with me.
Sure.
Another thing you paused on that I think is a really easy, relatable skill that we as adults can do, but also young people, is if we scale how we're feeling. You did a beautiful job with that. So if I said 0, I have no anxiety, I'm not feeling at all overwhelmed, to 10, I am the most overwhelmed, the most anxious I could feel. You said I'm feeling a 7. I'm feeling pretty high up there. Right.
Yeah.
And if I said 10 is a panic attack, I am overwhelmed, I'm hyperventilating, I'm bleeding, you're pretty high up there. Can you tell me, pretty high, can you tell me where you feel it in your body? Where does anxiety show up for you in your body?
I know specifically it shows up like in my head.
Yep.
I have a constant headache that I'm like, oh, am I getting sick? Might I be on the verge of getting corona?
And
no,
it gets quickly into thinking that way, right?
Completely.
If I have physical symptoms, I'm getting nervous about what that means.
Right. And I know I'm clenching my jaw.
Yep.
My entire
jaw.
Yep. Is so sore. Having been to the dentist for a few teeth issues recently, finding out that I'm grinding my teeth, it makes perfect sense.
Right.
And I'm feeling that more and more daily, just from the stress of, I got to do this. I got to get it right. And I just I'm aware more than ever that I'm doing that now.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense to me, Robin, right? So your anxiety is a 7 out of 10. That's really high. You're clenching your jaw, you're grinding your teeth. It's causing a temporal headache, which is then leading your brain to saying, uh-oh, I'm physically not well. This is very scary. And a lot of it could be based in reality because you said, I just had dental work.
Right.
Right. So we're balancing that. What we're going to go over right now is the most basic skill we can practice, which is controlling our breath. The reason I think that we wanted to at Fairwind start with this task is anybody can do it. It is completely free. It is mobile, and it is unbelievable how we can shift, adding that parasympathetic response to that sympathetic response. How do we slow down our breathing? This has been a template for a lot of wellness providers in the yoga community. We're going to try a breathing technique.
Okay.
Robin, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show a worksheet of what we're going to be doing.
Okay.
And what that looks like for us. So first I'm going to tell you what it is, and then we're going to practice it. And when we practice it, I might add a little bit more staging for you to think about. So the first skill is that we're going to be breathing in through our nose. We're going to be dropping our chin to our chest, holding our breath in, and we're expanding our diaphragm. We really want to feel a little bit of that pressure and tug. And then when you're ready, when the breath feels like it's time to release, you're going to bring your chin back up, and you're going to blow out through your mouth. And I want it to be a forced air blow. I want you to blow like you're blowing out all the candles on the birthday cake. So again, we're going to start putting our feet firmly on the ground, our hands in our lap. We're going to try to lower our shoulders as best we can. And I'm going to tell you the steps one more time, and then we're going to practice it. Okay. We're breathing in through our nose. We're dropping our chin to our chest. We're holding it in, expanding our diaphragm, and when we're ready, we're bringing our chin back up and we're blowing out through our mouth. Okay, you can feel free to close your eyes or keep your eyes open or just stare neutrally at your hands in your lap, but we're gonna practice this together for quite a few times. And when you get your rhythm of breathing that feels normal to you, Robin, whatever that looks like, I'm gonna do a few other statements to help you relax, okay?
Okay, cool.
You ready to start?
I am.
Okay, and I think we're gonna get that 7 down.
Okay.
All right, Robin, I'm gonna ask you to take a deep breath in through your nose, dropping your chin to your chest, filling your lungs with air, feeling your diaphragm spread, and then pull your chin back up and blow out through your mouth all of the air you possibly can. That's great. That's great. We're gonna start with a nose breath in. We're filling our lungs, we're dropping our chin to our chest. And when we're ready to blow out, we're bringing our chin back up and we're blowing all the air out through our mouth. You're doing a great job. I'm gonna ask you to keep going. Breathe a big breath in through your nose, dropping your chin down. When you're ready, you're gonna pull your chin up and slowly breathe out. This next time, I want you to focus on relaxing your neck and your shoulders when you're taking that breath in. Robin, you're gonna notice your shoulders going down, your neck relaxing. And this time when you breathe out through your mouth, I want you to imagine all of the stress going with you. The stress from your shoulders, the stress from your neck. This next breath in, through your nose, you're going to be thinking about your stomach and relaxing your stomach, relaxing everything in your mid-body. And when you breathe out, I want you to unclench your stomach, unclench some of the nervousness that you've had at the pit of your stomach. This next deep breath in, I want you to relax your legs, feeling your legs and sitting more into your seat. As you drop your chin down, and as you breathe out, you're relaxing your legs, feeling firmly planted to the ground. You're doing great. We're gonna do one more deep breath in through our nose, imagining all the anxiety, this time completely blowing out through your mouth, taking all of the stress that your muscles and your shoulders feel. When you're ready, you're gonna bring your gaze back towards me and resume breathing in a calm, steady pace. All right, how you feeling?
I definitely feel a little more relaxed. And when you said like sit back in your chair, and like that enabled me to relax a little more than sitting straight up and being so aware of that.
Good.
So that helped. And when I exhaled, it was more comfortable too when I was sitting and my shoulders were down versus like up here.
Good.
Good. Doing it that way. Yeah.
Good. How's your body feeling? How are you physically feeling? You notice a tiny little bit less stress, and then we're going to ask you your number, but I want you to bring attention to the places that we were trying to lower the stress.
Yeah, I could definitely say I feel physically a little better, because I know when I was even just verbally talking about it, I felt like my heart racing.
Yeah.
And after the breathing, I could tell that slowed down.
Yeah.
So that alone made me feel a little bit more relaxed.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So overall, you had a way of resting into your seat that felt more comfortable. You had an opportunity to recognize your heartbeat slowing down. You had a moment to yourself. And what would you say your number is? 0, no anxiety, 10, worst anxiety I've ever felt.
Probably definitely down to a 5 now, because I even just talking feel more relaxed. Like that part of my brain where it's like, you still got this to do, you still got that to do, which I don't think I'll ever stop, but I feel more calm in me right now.
Good. I'm so glad to hear that. So what Robin and I just went through was something that we can teach ourselves and we can practice at any time, which is really bringing to mind that when we slow down our heart rate and our breathing, our body is telling our amygdala, our old brain, our hindbrain, that inner part of your brain, you are calm, you are safe, everything is well. When we recognize in ourselves where anxiety lives, so for you, it's your jaw, it's this temporal headache, then that's a sign that I could just do a couple of deep breathing exercises before I flip into my next work project, my next load of laundry, my next whatever it is, because your body is telling you, I'm gearing up for a fight. I'm gearing up for that fight, flight, or freeze response where anxiety is building for us. Fairwinds wants to teach everybody some basic skills, and one of the things I want to remind everyone, if I go back to our website here, Fairwinds, is that we have a whole bunch of free services that are available to people. And starting April 6th, which is a Monday from 5 to 6 every day, we will be having free groups that are related to treating anxiety, helping you stay calm and sane with your family and avoiding conflict. You can find about our other clinical services here as well and all of our information. We really appreciate all the care providers in the community doing what they can to keep us happy and safe, and Fairwinds is trying to be a small part of that. All our doors are open, our services are always here and happy to help you virtually. We'll be tuning in a little bit to offer a few more techniques to help you with anxiety, and we're so happy you tuned in. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tess. We are so appreciative of your time and willingness to help us out. The charts and illustrations that Tess just presented will be available for download on nctv18.org. Just look for this episode in the Nantucket Pulse series on the NCTV website. I will see you next week with more from our local health professionals and practitioners. We will be sharing movement, stretching, breathing, meditation, and massage techniques that can be helpful for everyone. So, regardless if you live alone or you're part of a large family household, we will have something to help support you during this time. That's all for now. I'm Natalie Simonero, your host of the wellness portion of Nantucket Pulse, wishing you all the very best. Take good care, be gentle with yourselves and each other.